my kids are somewhat into this. They do help with the slaughter. They'll pluck the feathers. They'll put the chicken into the comb prior to it. But I haven't got them to eat one yet. Probably because they name all of them. A couple of them are Mr. Fluffy Mustard Balls. One of them is Tomato Campbell Soup. Another one is Chicken Patty Filet. Well, they're all the same size, but you're going to raise it, probably about 6 weeks. And there's always a runt in every litter, so like when you get one, you want to try to get the bigger ones that look healthy because there is going to be a mortality rate. Not every chicken's guaranteed to survive. If you feel like that's a lucky chicken or a healthy chicken, that's the one you want.
Great, okay, I'm good.
Let's try to make them happy chickens. You want them to be happy if you're going to eat them. If they're sad, some of that energy might transfer to you or might transfer to my family when we eat it. So I want it to lead a happy life. I want it to have fun. I want to nourish it because it'll be nourishing me when I put it in my body. I picked this one because of the black dot on top of his head. Most of them always look identical, and this one was a little bit different. So I can give it extra special attention because I know which one it is. I've had them for a week now. I have cleaned out their feeding bowls and their water bowls every day, or every time that I notice it's dirty, I'll change those out. You want to keep them as close to Mother Earth as you can during their life. You want them to be happy. I would rather eat a happy bird than a sad bird any day. The last time since you were here, I built the coop a couple of days after you left. I broke it down, actually used 2 pallets, broke down as much of the wood that I didn't need so it would be light, I'd be able to move it. The way to know whether it's a happy animal or not is to know something about its life, to know the farmer or the person that raised it. And we're lucky that in Atlanta we do have a lot of people that are on the forefront of the pastured poultry movement selling their birds. They're easily accessible, and these guys, that's who I modeled my little coop after, and I've shown a couple of them pictures of it, and we talk about it, and it's a hobby for me, but these guys do it on a daily basis. This is what I mean about being a happy chicken. Getting out, exploring like kids do, learning things about the world, learning where to look for food. I come outside and watch it. It's a good target for the hawks in the area because it is a white chicken, so I make sure that when it's out, I'm out here. Just let it play around. It's not always eating when it's doing that. Sometimes it's just playing. It'll pull on blades of grass. It'll go after bugs. It's occupying its time in its own manner. We'll pick him or her up, let her chill out for a little bit just to make sure that she's not nervous. I'll tie some string to its feet, string it over a tree, over my compost pile, slit its throat, hold its throat back to let it bleed out, and when it's done bleeding out, we'll defeather it.
Those are my shoelaces! Oh. It's a nice way to just kind of ease its mind a little bit.
The goal of this animal was to provide food for your family at the most economical and efficient way that you could. It also, believe it or not, provided entertainment for the family. I believe that everybody should know where their food comes from, and to me, especially my kids, I want them to know where it comes from. I'm going to use every bit of this chicken when I cook it. I'm going to use the skin, I'm going to use the feet. I'm going to use the feathers for the compost in my garden. I'll use the gizzard, I'll use the heart, I'll use the liver. All of the edible portions will go into something for our dinner. The bones will be made into stock. So it's important to me that every bit of this chicken is used. Home early and went out to the garden and gathered as much as I could, and the time process I think is a little bit longer because not only do you gather everything, you also have to wash it, so I came home and picked the arugula, picked the green beans, tipped the green beans off, washed the green beans, washed the arugula 3 times. So because it is It is a pastured bird, and it did get a lot of exercise in its life. You know, they can be tougher than a lot of the factory-raised birds that sit in a cage, so the buttermilk also helps the proteins break down a little bit.